I've been investing in gold and silver for over a decade, and what you see here are the fruits of my labor for over a decade of buying, investing, and collecting. This is what it's all about, the long-term gains, the long-term returns that you get on gold and silver. It's not about the quick turnaround. It's not about flipping for profit. You have to take it slow and steady. But could I replicate this in today's economy? I would argue no. This kind of a collection, I think, is now a bit of a thing of the past. There's a few factors at play here. Size of the individual coins, the actual cost of the coins themselves, which is of course relative to their sizes. The 10-ounce silver is now over £1,000 each for these coins. 1-ounce golds, we all know that those are very expensive coins. They were expensive when I bought them, but some of them were £1,000 each. And now £3,500, £4,000 plus. It's crazy. So if I was confronted with the opportunity to buy a collection like this, I wouldn't be able to afford it. God knows I would not be able to afford it. But I'm very fortunate that I've been able to accumulate it over time. And that is what it's all about. It's about making sure that you can stack and invest sensibly, slowly, and responsibly over time. Join me on today's Precious Metal Ramble as we talk all about the barriers in investing in gold and silver right now, the pluses that you can achieve over a long term, and just enjoy the journey, because gold and silver are a journey. They're a ride. They're a roller coaster at times. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section, not only on my collection, but on the world of gold and silver collecting. I've been at this game for over 10 years. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not an investment guru. I'm just a guy who likes shiny things and talks about them here on YouTube. But I do like to think that the time that I've spent talking and looking at shiny things over this last 10 years has taught me a thing or two. And right now, the world is very different. That is what I will say to you straight away. So there is a thing, of course, stack envy or investment envy, where you'll see people like myself and content creators showing their stacks and all of the silver and gold that they've accumulated. But how did I get here? How did I manage to create a collection, which I haven't actually done the maths here, but we can do a loose little bit of maths. We've got 11 1-ounce gold coins. We've got 20 0.25-ounce gold coins, which is 5 ounces of gold. So that's going to be 16 ounces of gold just on its own, 17 with that one there, plus all there's probably over £100,000 worth of silver here and gold. Now this stuff is normally locked under a security vault. I've got it out to just showcase and look at, because you've got to enjoy them every now and again, but they will be quickly going back into that security. And that is a lot to invest in precious metals. But I didn't invest £100,000 in this. I invested way less. Some of the coins here, you wouldn't believe, I spent probably only about £140 on. I'd have to check my records and my spreadsheets. But this stuff, the 10-ounce silvers at the time, £140 for a 10-ounce silver coin is crazy. For a very long time, silver felt cheap. And that's how things have changed for the majority right now. I do see silver and gold prices now where they kind of probably should have been over the past few years. Certainly when I got started, I saw a huge opportunity. Not saying that I'm an investment guru and knew what I was doing, but I was reading about alternative investments and what I could look to invest in, and silver and gold were at these all-time lows relative to a recent past with the big spikes up in 2010-11. But when you look back 10, 15 years from when I got started, gold was £250 an ounce, and it was £1,000 an ounce when I got started. So it was already 4x from there. And now we're 4x again from where we were from there. So you can see the dividends happening over a long period of time. Now, I'm not going to try and preach of how fortunate we are, but a lot of the work that has gone into creating this collection has been through hard work in terms of saving, prudence, sensible financial decisions. We sacrificed an awful lot in terms of our peers. You know, we worked hard, we had good jobs and good salaries until I decided to have a midlife crisis and quit my gainful employment, but we were able to save money. We were able to put away money. Is that possible now in today's economy? I have to do that thing with my hands. Today's economy. No, I'm really worried. I'm a father now, and we've, in 10 years, I've grown so much just from my personal level from doing what I'm doing here, but also as a father, I now have changed my outlook quite a lot in the world, and I'm worried about the future for my kids. I'm worried about the future of money for my kids, and when I got started buying gold and silver, it was very much a case of, well, this will be sort of the retirement. This will be for that long term. Well, actually, I tell a lie, because the first bits of silver I ever bought, the idea was that we would buy them, we would then sell them when we made about 15 to 20% gain, because I thought that was a pretty good gain to have, and then reinvest the money in other things. But oh dear, I fell down the YouTube rabbit hole, and look where we are today. So now it's a retirement strategy, but also now that I'm a father, it's more likely that it's going to be that leg up for our kids when they get to a point in their life. We're fortunate that we have been successful in life. We have got jobs that pay, we've got livelihoods that pay. I've worked hard here on the YouTube channel to grow that and to grow my business. But part of that comes at the bottom end. It's the same with any business. You look at not just the top end of money coming in, but you look at the bottom end of money going out. And I would argue, though, that the money going out has continued to grow exponentially over the time that I've been doing, of course, purchasing of gold and silver. But ultimately, those decisions have yielded good returns in the end. So it's a very difficult concept right now to fathom how one would go about it. And I see a lot of people looking to make purchases of silver that are not necessarily how I would agree to do with it. Is that my problem because now I'm in this beautiful sort of period of hindsight where I've been able to accumulate a collection like this over a period of time, and I see people trying to do the same and emulate this? And I suppose part of me, because I did a video criticizing fractional silver and gold not that long ago, last week, and there were a lot of really sensible people that said the same thing. They were like, well, we completely agree, buying things like gold backs or buying 1 gram silver bars. And, you go on platforms like Whatnot, they're just full of unscrupulous sellers that will try and sell you the hype and the hysteria and the fact that you have to get something now. And if you can't afford to save up to buy an ounce of silver, which, yes, look, is expensive right now, I get it. You buy fractional stuff along the way, at least then you've got something. But the long-term return on that is going to be really, really bad. So it's about slowly catching monkey over that long period, in my humble opinion. I've got another part of my Queen's Beast collection that I got out of storage to showcase for you here. This is a proper treat. If you've been watching all the way through this video, you are now in for, let me get the box out before I drop it, you are in for a right old treat. So this is the 1/4 ounce reverse frosted proof collection of the Queen's Beasts. It is sublime and stunning. Now, in terms of being able to accumulate today, if you're getting started, do it sensibly. Make sure you are buying the right things at the right prices. Understand that there are going to be people out there. Social media's changed a lot in that whole world as well. There are going to be people out there interested in selling you anything and everything. And one thing that I've always been very conscious of on our channel as a content creator, as a social media influencer, is to not sell myself or my products every chance I get. Look, I'm a business, I have to sell certain things at certain times, but at the end of the day, I'm just here making videos and I'm running my business in the background. I don't want to hype things up. I don't want to make you make the wrong decisions. That's not in my interests from a community standpoint. And I would argue I've got more to gain over the long term of having a channel with integrity than just sitting on an auction platform shilling all my crap, basically. That's not for me. It's never been about what I am about or what I do. So there are a whole host of barriers right now which I think are not good for people, and you need to be sensible about it. But the long-term gains cannot be understated. This is something that happens over a period. And if you're looking at this collection and you have a little bit of that stack envy, I get it, I understand. I still get stack envy, if I'm being honest. I see coins and I see people's investments. I see people buying stuff right now that I would really like to buy right now, but we are already done with our investments. I've been lucky. I've set up a portfolio over a period of time, a collection like this over time, where I can now take the liberty to not make lots of decisions and purchases right now. That's a very fortunate position to be in. All right, I'm going to do something a bit different, and I'm going to get the camera and we can have a look at all the different coins. So yeah, I'm very happy with what I've achieved and what I've got, but that long-term return on this stuff is the thing you're after. It is the one piece of not financial advice that I can give. You have to look at your gold and silver as a long-term thing. You can't be buying gold and silver right now if you're expecting a big bill coming. You have to have those bits of prudence. I'm not, as I said, an investment person, but I can talk about my own experiences in terms of saving and investing. When I was in my early 20s, I was not very good at saving. I was not very good at investing. The money I had come in was just for my luxuries. I didn't really think about a lot of that. It was only after meeting Mrs. Backyard Bullion and us talking about the life we wanted to build together and how we wanted to get there, we very quickly worked out that actually we couldn't do the same things that everyone else was doing. We couldn't have those flash holidays. We couldn't go on all of these little weekends away that we wanted to do. We would do things on a budget. Instead of going away to Europe for a little getaway, we would just have a week away in Scotland. Beautiful Scotland. If you've never been to Scotland, go to Scotland. It's fantastic. Well, struggling with the camera here. There we go. You know, there are plenty of different ways that one can save money over time. Property is something that I think is quite difficult right now. Assets, investments, there are a whole host of different barriers that people face on a very real weekly basis, and it's hard for people. So if you are interested in stacking, if you are new to the world of stacking, then take it slow, take it steady, and really get to grips with what is going to be right in that long run. That's what I say. Save money every day that you can and use that money, make that money work for you. That's going to be my non-investment advice. But it's a real great thing to be able to collect and invest, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone. And you can see the long-term dividends really coming forward here. So, love to know what you've got to say down in the comment section. It would be great to hear from you. Otherwise, that's it from me. We'll see you all in the next video. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.